staff, thank you. This very special and historic event has great significance. You, 29 men and women, have been appointed by voters of Florida to serve as Florida's presidential electors. Congress has set this day for the presidential electors in each of 50 states and the District of Columbia to meet and name the persons for whom they vote for President and Vice President of the United States. This method of electing our President and Vice President is required by the United States Constitution. Today, electors from across the nation are participating in this very same process. Each state will send copies of its electors' certificates of votes to the President of the Senate, the Archivist of the United States, and the Chief Federal Judge of the district in which the electors are assembled. On January 6, 2017, the Vice President of the United States will preside over the joint session of Congress to open the certificates from the electors from each state. If candidates for the presidency and vice presidency have each reached a total of 270 of the 538 Electoral College votes, the national election results will be official. Electors, Department of State staff will now distribute two separate, distinct ballots for electing the President and Vice President of the United States. Please listen to the following instructions carefully. Department of Staff will first distribute the ballots to cast your vote for President. Once complete, Department staff will distribute a separate ballot for your vote to cast for Vice President of the United States. Department staff will now provide you with the ballot to cast your vote for President. And once you receive the ballot, please write your name and your choice for President and then sign and print on the ballot your name. Once complete, the department staff will collect the ballots. Staff, thank you. the ballots, which is required, and he will give us a statement of presentation shortly.
Mr. Secretary, the ballots for president have been collected. We will begin counting the electors' votes and verifying them for completeness.
Thank you, Jordan. Electors, the department staff will now provide you with a ballot cast for your vote for vice president. Again, please write the name of your choice for vice president and then sign and print your name on the ballot. Thank you.
Mr. Secretary, the ballots for President and Vice President have been collected, counted, and verified for completeness.
Thank you, Jordan. Please bring me the results from the electors for votes for President and Vice President. The ballots from Florida's 29 presidential electors have been counted and verified for completeness. Let the record reflect that Donald J. Trump received 29 electoral votes for President of the United States. And that Michael R. Pence received 29 electoral votes for Vice President of the United States. Thank you, electors. Now it's time for the seventh inning stretch. To meet the federal requirements, we now proceed to sign electoral certificates of vote. At this time, we will call each elector by name to the table to affix their signatures to 7 identical certificates of vote. After affixing your signature to the certificates, please return to your seat. And at the conclusion of this event, and after the meeting has been adjourned, it has been requested that all 29 electors come to the front of the room at the Secretary of the Senate's desk for a group photograph. Okay. Alex?
Electors, as I call your name, please exit to your left. Once you have finished signing all 7 certificates, please return to the row from the opposite side. Representative Larry Ahern. Brian Ballard. Christy Banks. Michael Barnett. Senator Elizabeth Benaquisto. Robin Bernstein. Attorney General Pam Bondi. John Browning. Sharon Day. Dina DeCamp. Nick DeSiegli. Jeremy Evans. John Falconetti. Peter Feynman. Kat Gates Skipper. Representative Joe Gruters. Debbie Hannafin. Representative Blaise Ingolia. Tony Ledbetter. Mike Moberly. Susan Moore. Senate President Joe Negron. Clint Pate. Adrian Beau Rivard. Representative Ray Rodriguez. Representative Carlos Trujillo. Robert Watkins. Susie Wiles. Christian Ziegler. Thank you all. At this time, the Secretary will now sign the certificates. Thank you, sir. At this time, staff will now assemble and circulate the certificates of contents. These documents certify that the certificates of votes will go to the Florida Secretary of State, the Chief Federal Judge of the district in which the electors are assembled, the President of the United States Senate, and the Archivist of the United States. Thank you for your patience during this time.
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your patience and for your attention. Within the next few weeks, you will receive a copy of the Certificate of Vote memorializing your service as a presidential elector for the state of Florida. But before we adjourn, I invite Representative Blaise Ignogia, as chairman of the Republican Party of Florida and an elector, to come forward and offer some brief remarks. Mr. Chairman.
I want to thank each and every one of you sitting in this room for everything that you have done over the past 24 months. I know it was a long, hard haul, and I know over the past couple of months you have been inundated with a lot of sometimes harassing messages asking you to switch your vote. And I know that for many of you, if it was like me, it was an intrusion on your privacy and it took away some family time. So I want to thank you for everything that you have done. The people sitting before you, our 29 electoral voters, come from all over the state. And the people sitting in this room are, some of you are campaign people, some of you are elected officials, some of you have worked closely with the campaign, helped finance the campaign, but we all have one thing in common, is that we all care deeply about the future of this nation. And it hit me as I was signing that document, just the amount of awesome responsibility we have as electors. And I hope at some point in the future we'll all be able to look back at this point in time and say, we were part of history. So with that, I want to thank you, Mr. Secretary, thank you for allowing me to speak. God bless all of you for everything that you have done. And God bless the greatest republic this world has ever known, the United States of America. Thank you for all of your hard work.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for those very, very poignant remarks. Electors, on behalf of the state of Florida, thank you for performing your constitutional duty today. Job well done. Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Negron, for allowing us to be a part of the chambers here, and to your staff for their gracious work and help in supporting us. And finally, I would like to ask the Department of State staff who are here, who have been assisting us not only today but throughout the elections process this last year, to please rise and be recognized. Department of State staff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Department of State staff. We appreciate your service and wish you safe travels back to your respective communities. Happy holidays. This meeting of the Florida Presidential Electors is hereby adjourned. Please join us for a photograph. Thank you.
You are watching the Florida Channel, a public service made possible by the Florida Legislature, WFSU TV, and Florida State University.